Joseph, welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Tisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
All right, guys, so this is my final video on this topic. Final video on this Michael B. Jordan situation. Hopefully nothing else crazy happens. As we reach the tail end of this thing, I think it was really interesting to see different people's perspectives. And of course, I shared mine, which was just basically thinking that Michael B. Jordan did nothing wrong in his response, the whole situation. I plan to see Creed 3 here very soon. But I want to talk about a few things, man. I heard somebody recently tell me in person, we're having the same exact conversation, and they said, isn't it a little bit too petty to be somebody who remembers something from high school and have that bother you up until the point that you made it and you're a millionaire and you're this huge actor with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Doesn't that seem like you're a little bit too emotionally attached to an opinion of somebody from high school? And I heard that question and also read a bunch of comments of people who are like, you know, I actually disagree with what you're saying, Shisha, because I think he was a bit too emotional in his reaction. There's that narrative as well. And I just thought it was worth kind of diving deep into why I don't think that was an emotional reaction at all. Here's the truth. I actually agree. To people who are out here saying that if you're the type of person who sits there and people say things from you from high school and you every time people bring that up, it offends you and you have an emotional reaction, I agree. If you are that type of person, you're in the wrong. When I say wrong, I mean in the wrong energy, right? Allowing people to dictate your emotions, your reactions to situations. But here's the problem, man. Is Michael B. Jordan that type of person? No, really. I mean, like, is he really that type of person? After one situation, we're going to label him as being petty. I want you to think of how unfair that is. That you have people like Joe Budden saying that's why you're corny, because you allow things from high school to get to you. How many times have we seen public figures go back and forth on petty issues online, on the screen, celebrities, musicians, a bunch of other people? Would you really put Michael B. Jordan in the category of somebody who's petty and allows things to get to him emotionally? I had this convo with this person in person, right? We were talking about this. I said, no, you would not. In fact, this was out of his character. That's why this was a big deal. If this was somebody like Joe Budden or some other podcast hosts who are known for being petty, this wouldn't have been as big of a story. It's the fact that he regularly is a cool, mild-mannered individual that this actually stood out. So come on. It's one time. You got to remember this in life. My father always used to say this. You're not judged. And he would talk about this from like a spiritual perspective. He would say, you know, when God looks at you as a man, or when you look at people, in most cases, considering they haven't done something that's atrocious or really horrible, we really are judged by our general trend of character. You're judged by your general trend of character. I know some people think, oh, you shouldn't judge people at all. Nah, everyone's going to judge you. Drink the coffee.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
But you're judged by your general trend of character. The people who you look at and say, that dude right there is petty. It means in most cases, he's proved to be petty, right? He has a tendency to react that way. Or they say, you know, that person right there is a liar. You got to lie multiple times before people call you a liar. I've lied. I know you've lied because you're human. But I know in the internet world, it's real easy to look at one situation and when somebody does something and kind of blanket, label their whole life, be like, well, that person there is petty because that one time. Come on, let's be real. How many times have Michael B. Jordan even spoke about situations when it pertains to like his relationship, etc.? He's usually pretty quiet. And so with that being said, I'll say this. Personally speaking, I would not suggest that you be the type of man or individual or person who reacts that way with every person who has made fun of you, maybe was teasing you. We need that stuff, right? We all need to be teased. At the end of the day, it helps us be stronger. It makes you tough. I'm sure that propelled him to be at heights that he's at today. And then you got to take that L. I've teased a few people in high school coming up. And if they were doing better than me, which they're not, no, I'm just kidding. No, but really, I've had situations where I've run into guys and I'm looking at them. I'm like, okay. Wow. Hey, touche, my dude. Yeah, F you, Chisha. Yeah, hey, cool stuff, my guy. Sounds good. You know what I mean? You take the L. But you got to take the L because you're the person teasing, you're this and that. It's not a big deal, man. I don't think he's some type of like emotional person, or we should blanket label that person as like petty, or you should do that to yourself. I think this is a rare situation. And the main point I'm trying to get across here is we should really judge people based on, you know, whether someone is petty, whether somebody tends to do this. That's based on your general trend of character. And I think in most situations, the guy has played it cool. I could name a list of a lot more people who've been way more petty, and I've been seen in headlines going crazy on a bunch of different instances, which also actually poses the question that if you're somebody who rarely does this, when you do, they'll feel it that much harder, right? So I'm not encouraging that men go out here and just become the most petty individuals ever, because again, it takes away from the effect when you finally make it. But I'm also not saying that you don't get at least one time to talk your shit. And Michael B. Jordan on that particular day decided to talk his shit. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. As always, my people, curious, you know what you think? Leave your comments down below. Listen, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pot. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.